Hello. Hi. My name's Boof and I have a lot of Steam games. I made a series about it called Playing the Unplayed where I live stream all of said Steam games. Well, not all of them, but most of them. Try and hold myself responsible for my unreasonably large backlog and stop buying games. It's not working so far, but that's okay. This video will serve as an explanation of the 30 different phases in the list, what their names mean, and a guide as to what kind of games I've put into each phase. So this is my big, huge fucking spreadsheet. Welcome! To start, we have the largest phase with a total of 21 games. These are like silly, funny, haha games that can serve as a kind of a palate cleanser in between the bigger ones. I think we could do a little spin the wheel and just like get a random one up between games if a game goes on too long, or it's just too fucking stressful, or it's a horror game and I need a break before I shit my pants. That's what that phase is for. Outside of that phase, we have some more specific categories like sci-fantasy. The sci being in brackets because some of these are just fantasy games. They're not all sci-fantasy. We got 9 in total, including Gadonia, the Star Wars games, Hogwarts Legacy, things like these. Pretty self-explanatory. Now don't cringe at me, okay? So some of the names of these phases, most of them came from the original GPT-4 influenced list, where ChatGPT had quite a part in the naming of the phases. Since then, I have vowed to never use LLMs in my work ever again, for various reasons. But the top one being authenticity. And also, ChatGPT is a load of shite. So these phases originally were pretty poorly done. They were poorly categorized. They weren't spaced out evenly. It probably took longer for me to like proofread and fix all the shit. But alas, I've since reflected and decided to sort these games manually. But since I have never played any of these games, some of them could be categorized pretty poorly because of that. I tried to limit the amount of research that I did on all of these games. So just to maintain some sort of natural gaming experience dynamic. But because of that, some of these games could be categorized pretty poorly. But at least they're categorized poorly by a human being, aka me. And yes, it took fucking hours. So next we have Arcade Paradise, which is just, it's a load of arcade games, man. What can I say? Some of these might not pass as arcade titles explicitly, but I had to include them anyway because there was no other phase for them, and this phase would have been pretty short. It already is pretty short, but this phase would have been even shorter if I didn't include the kind of arcade, not really arcade kind of games. Then we have Big Sims / VR. It's the simulator games, most of them anyway. I put, like, for example, Granny Simulator. It's a funny haha. I put it in the funny haha category. And Tree Simulator 2022. I'll put that in here as well, in the funny haha category. We have Euro Truck Simulator, Farming Simulator, Power Wash Simulator. Yes, that is a game. And no, I didn't buy it. I think it's from my Steam family library. And Forza. I know. Forza's not a driving sim, okay? Please don't pitchfork me. But there was nowhere else to put it. So I put it in the simulator category for the purpose of this series. Okay, moving on. Next we have Cores and Cosmos. This is just, it's games with space and alien themes. What can I say? Entirely new worlds to explore, such as Mass Effect Legendary Edition and Out There Omega Edition. Space puzzles in Hellpoint and Still There, and survival resource management in games like Ixion and Abiotic Factor. That's what we got in Cores and Cosmos. Next we have Echoes of Home. Cozy, cute, silly games like Costume Quest, the Frog Detective series, Pal World, Pester Quest, and Garden Inn. We are relaxing from the intensity of puzzles and shooters and war and rebellion in future phases. I have yet to show you that one. With a little reminder of home, of day-to-day mundanity. We just get a little space to stop and hopefully literally smell the roses. Now, Echoes of Identity 1 and 2 is probably the phase I'm most excited for. It has got games that revolve around choice, morality, humanity, and various titles that are really unique and have thought-provoking narratives that have the potential to cut a little deeper. You know what I mean? Games that really get your cogs going and turn the gaming experience inward a little bit. And from a streaming perspective, games that let your chat make fun of your decisions. And I also feel like when playing games like this that have a heavy emphasis on choice or a certain narrative, I feel like you get to know the person playing a little more intimately. Like, so I'm excited for that. It's gonna be wholesome. Or like distressing and life-changingly fucking tumultuous. But like, I guess we'll find out. These phases make up a huge portion of the entire series, including, but not limited to, games like Disco Elysium that introduce a heavy narrative about the self. And I don't wanna spoil anything, okay? Let's just Life is Strange. Like, one of the most renowned butterfly games ever made that I was so excited to play, and then I just didn't. Terrible. Horus, heavy narrative, I think. Distraint, also a heavy narrative. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, also a narrative, but I think there's choice aspects in there as well. We have Orwell, Darksiders 3, Family Man, Celeste, and The Way of Life. Absolutely fucking huge. And then we have a phase that had to be split into 4 separate subcategories. It's called Frontlines and Factions. This phase genuinely adds up to an obscene amount of fucking titles, especially in a series made by someone who hosts like specifically non-political space on the internet. I think it's really funny that I have so many games about war and resistance and survival, but I'm really looking forward to some of these. I mean, in Frontlines and Factions post-apocalyptic, we have the Stalker games, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 4, Mad Max, We Happy Few. I'm so fucking stoked for these ones, honestly, honest to God. And on that same kind of line of thought, we have war/conflict. This one's self-explanatory, I guess. This subcategory includes games that focus on war and society during/after war. Games like Homefront, This War of Mine, Just Cause 2 and 3, some Assassin's Creed games. I only have one listed, but believe me, that will change. And I might not even play Syndicate. There's decisions to be made. That will be made. And that brings us to the other 2 phases of Frontlines and Factions. Survival, 13 games, which was really hard to differentiate. Like, if a game has both survival and post-apocalyptic themes, or it's a survival game based in a world that has known, like, war, conflict, political, societal disturbances. Like, I put Far Cry in here because I don't know much about any of these games. Again, I tried to research the least I could in order to preserve some kind of element of surprise when I do finally get around to playing each title. Like, for example, I had no clue what Outer Wilds was before I played it, and that genuinely was one of the best gaming experiences I have ever experienced in my whole life. So I'd hate to overdo it on the researching side just to get all of these phases like correct, right down to a T, and then like go and fucking spoil the games for myself. Even though there's so many I probably forget by the time I play them, but like, you know, just in case, you can't be too careful. I put Far Cry in the survival subcategory because it gives me more surviving the shit vibes rather than like you get to know the intricacies of the shit that you're surviving and the politics of it all. It just, like, the point of the game is to survive the shit, you know? Stray is in there because even though Stray allegedly explores some political and post-apocalyptic themes, again, it just gives me those survival vibes more than anything. Like, the point of the game is just to survive the shit as a cat. Minecraft and Terraria are also both in here, and Red Dead Redemption 2, which does feel a little off-center, but I think it's the best I can do with the knowledge that I have at the moment. I even considered putting a whole like family dynamic, like good versus evil kind of hero phase in here, but I felt like that was getting a bit too confusing. So you know what? I said no. I'm gonna do what I can with what I have, and I'm gonna leave it at that, because if I start changing things and getting more specific, it might just get a little bit convoluted. And I also didn't want to go and fucking spoil it for myself again. Like, I don't want to, you know what I mean. After survival, we have Frontlines and Factions zombies. This is literally just zombie games. Games whose main theme is the zombies and surviving said zombies. I don't actually own a lot of zombie games, but alas, it's made itself into a fucking entire phase, so I must own enough. Anyway, after all of that horrible shit, war and conflict and post-apocalyptic survival zombie themes, we have Hands and Hearths I and II. Would you look at that? These phases they're about creativity and rebuilding and restoration. We have games like Apico, which is literally a beekeeping simulator. I'm so fucking interested. We have Tuchel, which I think revolves around you just want this cherry and you won't stop at anything, like, until you get the cherry, man. I don't know. Indivisible, House Flipper 1 and 2, the Alto Collection, Zwei or Zwei, the Ilvard Insurrection, and the Arge's Adventure. Both very cutesy. I don't know how to pronounce it, but they're very quirky, kind of like, it's a chiller of a game. These phases are full of quirky characters and silly stories, and hopefully a whole lot of wholesome fun. So that's that. Then we have League of Their Own. Okay, I'm gonna be dead honest here. Yeah, this phase has a couple of games that are in here because I don't know where the fuck else to put them. But most of them are some really layered titles that stand out as unique concepts to me with the very little knowledge I have on what the games are actually about. Like Superhot, Minoria, Jigoku Kisetsukan, Sense of the Seasons. But a lot of my backlog came from Humble Bundle. If you don't know what that is, it's a website that offers a subscription service that lets you pay the same price as a standard Netflix plan in Ireland for around a dozen games a month. I signed up before I even built my PC with the thought that by the time I had my PC built, I would have a full Steam library there for hardware testing reasons. But alas, eventually I built the PC and I literally just grinded CS, evidently. So here we fucking are. In turn, some of these games are here in a league of their own because I genuinely don't know what else to do with them. Like Broken Sword 5, The Serpent's Curse. I don't have enough of those types of games to make a new phase. So it's just gonna have to be League of Their Own. And that brings us to the legendary Legacies of the Lost 1 and 2. Oh my godness. In these phases, we have the forgotten gems of gaming that ended up in my Steam library, and the cult classics like Mafia, the Batman games, Lego games, Tomb Raider, Undertale. Genuinely, all of these goated fucking titles that for some reason got lost on my radar. Maybe because I wasn't allowed to play them as a kid. I don't blame my mother for my unculturedness, you know. Lego is known to be so really terribly violent at times. I'm kidding. And even bigger news for the unemployed. We got Legends Reborn 1 and 2. The phase with all of the games in my library that I really should have been fucking playing instead of grinding CS. Without a doubt, legendary tales and epic sagas such as Doom, like the Doom, like Doom, like the... I'm 23 years old and I haven't played Doom ever. Not a second. I think that is a crime somewhere. We've also got pretty much all of the GTA games. Disgraceful, I know. My mom didn't let me play them as a kid because of the strippers and violence. I blame gender stereotypes. Let me, as an impressionable 8-year-old girl, play GTA, please. Man, seriously. Fucking hell. Please know this unculturedness it's only partially my fault, okay? I love you, Mom, by the way. We also have Dragon Age in here. We got Hitman, Halo. Please, forgive me, please. I know. And the next phase after Legends Reborn 1 and 2 is Messes and Mayhem, which is just broken jank. Now, hey, I'm not categorizing all of these games as shit before I even touch them. I am just gently and respectfully acknowledging their reputation as janky jank. Just Cause is in this phase. along with Ultimate Epic Battle Simulator, which I will probably play for about an hour tops. Dinosaur Hunt, Drift Streets Japan. You know, and some of these games were made to be intentionally janky. Like, it's not an insult. Like, it's part of the charm. Like, Goat Simulator and Barrow, I think. I don't know. Then we have some phases that I'm not particularly looking forward to. We have Mirrors and Static, which is like, it's about depth, tension, reflection, less hands and hurts, and more psychological horror. Like Little Nightmares, Close to the Sun, the Alan Wake games, just setting the tone for the actual horror phase that is yet to come. Then we have Opening the Vault and Pick and Mix, which are there because of alphabetical sorting. We've already done these. And next up, we have Pixels and Polygons, which is pixely games, and also a couple of retro ones. I know what's classified as retro is constantly changing because of the passage of time, like, do you know what I mean? But this phase is mainly pixely games. I don't have a lot of retro games, so the very few that I did have, I threw them in with these because I think, and that's mildly appropriate at the very least. I think I'll get away with it, okay? It's fine. Just don't tell anyone. We have Necess, Tales of the Neon Sea, The Escapists, Murder Miners, and then we have Day of the Tentacle and Grim Fandango, both remastered. But I would consider them as close to retro as we're going to get in this series, in this whole project. Then we have the shortest phase of the history of this entire thing, the Rage Games phase. You know, I don't own a lot of these purposefully. It may not come across, since I'm so nonchalant and cool and sexy and 6'4" and I have a Bugatti, like, and a mansion. It may not come across, but I do get frustrated really pretty easily. And it might not also come across with the whole big old backlog thing, but once I start a game, you'll have to fight me to not complete it. Like, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and that's a double-edged sword, but like, in terms of rage games, I tend to avoid buying them for the sake of my mental health, because I know I won't stop. So I only have 2 of them, and that is to stay the way that it is. We're not adding to that, okay? We then have puzzle/dungeon/platformer. That is, again, a very self-explanatory phase. It's just got puzzles, puzzle platformers, dungeons, dungeon crawlers. I'm only not looking forward to this phase from the perspective of, like, oh, it might be a bit difficult. We've got Zoom, Speedrunners from Hell, Polyball, Wildfire, Portal Stories Mel, Cyberhook, Scully, and some other games as well. And after that, we have roguelike/Souls-like. Another self-explanatory one. It's got 9 games in total, and probably one that I'm least looking forward to, because Skill Issue is my middle name, and this phase has Elden Ring in it. So, fuck. Along with some lesser known, but possibly just as frustrating, good games. For example, we have Talomere 2 Curse of the Kittens, Trinity Fusion, Sundered, Noisa, Spiritfall, and a couple of other ones too. Now, we have Steel and Algorithms. Man, this fucking phase. Ooh. This phase has got grit, violence, post-industrial worlds with tons of science-y shit and moral ambiguity to spice things up. This phase includes more legendary titles like all of the Half-Life games, which I have never played. Please forgive me. Games from the Metro franchise. We got the BioShock games in here too. I did actually play BioShock 1 remastered, and I really enjoyed it, so I'm really excited for playing the original and also playing BioShock 2 remasters and BioShock Infinite. I feel like they're gonna be pretty good. I'm pretty excited for that. But with almost everything out of the way, we have 2 phases left. Venture into the unknown. We have the mystery phase. This is the mystery phase. Got all the mystery games. Games with, you guessed it, mystery. And lots of questions. We've got Fahrenheit Indigo Prophecy Remastered, Heavy Rain, Syra, Murdered Soul Suspect, Missing Translation, and more. I am pretty excited for this one as well. In my limited experience, mystery games, when they're done well, can be just beautiful. So I'm interested to see from what I have in my library which of those are gonna be like, oh my god, that was so good, holy shit, did you see what happened? That was so fucking cool. I'm looking forward to that. And last but not fucking least, we have Whispers and Shadows, the horror phase. This phase contains all of the horror games I own, and I am not looking forward to it, I'm not gonna lie. This is the big gruesome blood-covered cherry on top of the whole series, but when you bite into it, it's a fucking human organ or something. I'm not looking forward to this. I know I'm not seasoned in pretty much anything ever, but my experience with horror to date, it's watching PewDiePie on my phone with all the lights on when I was young and like covering the screen just to see a little corner of the fucking video, and then going into school the next day like fucking yeah, I totally watched like PewDiePie play some scary game last night. It wasn't even scary, it was literally just funny, and I literally just thought it was like a really good video because I wanted to look cool, but I had no friends, so obviously that didn't work. So I'm a bit of a puss in boots when it comes to horror games. I don't know why I have any, but we have to play them. I need to learn a lesson. I need to learn my lesson. Stop fucking buying games, man. Stop fucking buying games. You have to play them. Fucking idiot. In this phase we have Amnesia, A Machine for Pigs, Amnesia: The Dark Descent, Prey, Dead Space, Sons of the Forest, Contagion, Pacify, Mouthwashing, Just Ignore Them, Soma, Pathologic 2, and you wouldn't believe me if I said this now, but more. We have more than that, and I have a feeling we're gonna get more than that too. Maybe it's gonna be my new favorite genre of game. Who fucking knows? But I'm very happy with the way this is panning out to look like, especially with the :3 phase. I'm very excited to take breaks in between games. That's about it. That's the entire guide to the phases of playing the Unplayed. Bam, bam, bam. I need to make an intro for that or something. And I think it's a lot better than the previous one, because that was a load of shite. So anyway, I hope this video has provided some more of an explanation as to what the fuck is going on. And I'm really looking forward to all of this. I really am. Thank you so much for being here, for watching. I appreciate you. As always, have a great day. We'll see you very soon. Bye!